We have called you here to come and have a chat with you relating to the forensic investigation that we are calling for, relating to the PEU contract that Tshwane got into, that has cost the city billions of rands. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the city of Tshwane and the PEU Capital Partners, the firm appointed to install the city's prepaid electricity smart meters infrastructure, have agreed to call it a day, as you would have known, with the city, and this came at a cost of about 1 billion rand in service commission to the ill-fated contract in the past financial year alone. Before the agreement was entered into, the DA forewarned the provisions of the contract would effectively lock the city with a single service provider ad infinitum at the cost of terminating the business relationship with the PEU contract, and this would really have dire consequences. Despite the city being warned, they went ahead and contracted with PEU, and subsequently we now having to terminate the agreement. Okay. To perhaps give you a quick breakdown of the amounts that we're talking about, is that there's a 1 billion rand that is already being paid, and this is spent, and this is what they call service fees. And then there's 600 million, that is the cancellation penalty that the city has to pay. And there's 700 million, that is the capital infrastructure buyback, which amounts to about 2.3 billion rand that the city now has to pay to get out of this contract.
Money.
No, we don't have the physical money budgeted for this item. It means that you have to look into your total budget and say, where do you cut? And where do you cut is actually in service delivery, because that is the only way you are able to then be able to pay this before the end of the year. You cannot get money anywhere. You cannot actually go and borrow money anyway now. So the only way that you're able to fund this is to cut out of the service delivery budget. The action plan is that my colleague here will be writing to Minister Gordhan and to Minister Nene today. We are giving them about 30 days in order for them to respond to us, failing which we will then seek legal action in terms of then laying charges. But we don't want to go to that stage at this point in time. We just want to give them an opportunity to respond to us and tell us what actions they're going to take, and to actually institute a commission to look into what has actually happened in the city.
We did table a motion of no confidence, which the Speaker of the Council unlawfully refused to allow to be debated and voted on. It was the acting Speaker at that stage. The point here is that the ANC government is challenging us to take them to court to enforce a no confidence debate on the mayor. They know very well that if we go to court now, that we will not have a final order before the end of this term. So they are simply defying the laws of this country to disallow us the opportunity to debate a no confidence debate. PEU estimate the value of their total rollout, if they had completed this rollout, to be at 7 billion. They have rolled out 12,900 meters, but in order for the system to work, they have to create the back office, and the back office is a costly element of the whole system. So we estimate, from what we can see, that they have spent 10% of their estimated 7 billion rand value on what is in the municipality at this stage. In terms of the proposed settlement agreement with PEU, or termination agreement with PEU, evaluation must be done on the value of the installed capital base, and the city must buy this complete installed capital base from PEU in a once-off transaction. In other words, by the end of December of this year. In other words, we need to find 700 million rand on the 31st of December in order to pay for this. Now, in the report before Council, the Chief Financial Officer has already conceded that we do not have the money for that once-off payment. And if we cannot find another party to take over this contract and pay that 700 million, then the city will basically renege on the settlement agreement and the entire situation will relapse to what it was before, which means we are still tied in with the PEU agreement, which is exactly what has been said earlier, and that is that we cannot extract ourselves easily from this contract. We are tied in ad infinitum unless we can find the money which we don't have to get out of the contract.
What we've done up to now is there have been a number of questions that have been submitted to Minister Gordhan. He has not responded in an adequate manner to date. He's basically said, I don't have the information to hand, and I will respond when it suits me, effectively. We are now going to push the issue with both Minister Gordhan of COGTA and Minister Nene of Finance and Treasury to ask them to immediately set up a forensic investigation. And if we get no joy of that, we will then consider what the next steps will be. Steps that we are considering include the possibility of laying charges against the officials and the political heads concerned. We are looking for answers here. We are looking for why this was done. We are looking for people to be held accountable. Unfortunately, in South Africa, there is a distinct lack of accountability and responsibility. People don't take responsibility for their actions or their misconduct. And we're saying it's time now that we hold government properly accountable.